Welcome back to the High Vibe Healers Hangout. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that touches the lives of many couples worldwide, fertility challenges, and the holistic approaches available to support them on their journey to parenthood. So, Renata, welcome to the podcast. Could you start by telling us what inspired you to specialize in fertility homeopathy?
Welcome. Thank you for having me. So this is my career change. I've been working 25 years in a corporate life,
Okay.
which I found quite, what would I say, quite challenging in the last 10 years. Like deep down, I felt there is more to life than just going to work and 8 hours plus in front of a computer. I found it extremely soul crushing. Like I knew like my soul wanted to be released, but it was just being crushed all the time. I didn't fully understand. I don't think I was as aware of how spiritual I was. But I just felt every day like going to work, you just had the uneasy stomach, I just, anyway, make the story short, I lost my job 2020,
Okay.
22, because of certain requirements that I wasn't happy to comply with. So, and then I knew I wanted to go towards healing. I grew up with a mother who was a healer. She wasn't qualified in any way.
Okay.
But when I was a child, the medicine was in a forest. We would not go to the doctors. I would go foraging with her for mushrooms, leaves, berries, and she would make her own medicine out of it. And so this is how my family, my dad, my two brothers, mom, this is how basically I grew up. I was quite familiar and comfortable with natural medicine, or maybe the alternative to what the medicine was, the mainstream. Not that there is, I'm not begging it, because we need mainstream. It's fantastic in emergency situations. Thank God for those doctors and nurses that are working in those departments. But having said that, when we came, like you, and when we came to Australia, a lot of natural medicines weren't available to us. Once because there's different plants growing here, and mom didn't know the Australian plants, but also too, there's a lot of things that aren't allowed into Australia that we've been accustomed to. So mom, and I was young, I was in my teenage years. Mom got rather sick with lungs, and we were going to the doctors, in and out, in and out, in and out. And because I was the one who spoke English, mom didn't. So I was pretty much, so the roles were reversed. I was the one taking mom to doctors. So I've been exposed to a lot of daily into what the conventional medicine is and what it can do and what it can't do. But I've always, in the back of my head, I've always wanted to be, I've always been saying there's more to it, there's surely more to it. So make the story short, about 10 years ago, I wanted to go and study naturopathy at the Endeavour College. But then working full time in a highly stressful job and doing this, I've decided not to. But the pull was always there. So when I lost my job, was it 2 years ago now? 2 years ago, then I thought, oh my gosh, I'm free. My soul has been freed. And then I did Reiki. I did aromatherapy. I did aromatherapy in crystals. So I've been exploring all the energy, and working with the universe, which just blows my mind. I absolutely love working with the universe. And I've always find that what I'm meant to do is kind of falls into my lap. So about a year ago, 2 years ago, when after I lost my job, I was on my inbox on my computer, and there was this course for animal healing, and I've always been into healing and like wanted to heal animals in natural ways. So I did that course. I did 2 courses, you know, which is quite amazing. Again, energy healing with animals.
Wow.
Absolutely loved it. So my poor dog was a guinea pig all the time. Practiced on him. But then I thought, and you know, and I'm loving this, I'm absolutely loving this. But then about a year later, the homeopathy fell into my inbox. And there I was listening, I don't know whether you would have heard of Dale Holmes. I was listening to his podcast. He's an Australian, he's a Geelong boy,
Okay.
a very spiritually awake person. So he had a homeopath on his show. He was interviewing a homeopath.
Mhm.
And there was this beautiful, energy, vibrant lady talking about homeopathy. And they were just starting, a few months' time, they were starting a course for homeopathy for fertility. And straight away, I knew I had to do it. And, you know, myself, I've gone through IVF, and I
Okay.
know how difficult that is
Mhm.
on the body, how difficult it is emotionally on a woman, and of course on a man as well. But the
Mm.
women are the ones who are pumped with artificial hormones, and our cycles are being manipulated. And I knew how difficult that was. And when this homeopathy for fertility, just I thought that's it, I'm doing it, and without giving it a second thought, I did it. And it's just amazing how it is so gentle and so effective, and also almost like a nurturing towards the lady and the man, because you know, when you treat infertility, you treat both partners, not just one.
Mm.
Um, but it's so gentle, and it's energetic, it's an energy. So homeopathy is an energy system. So you're not addressing somebody's soft finger, you are addressing the energy around that. You know, why is that? You know, what's happened? Let's fix it. Let's work on the person's vital force,
Mm.
which is the chi or the prana, depending from what a modality or culture you come from. You address that, and that will and that will fix the problems that you've got in your body. So yeah, so that's, oh, sorry, this is a long way of answering why, but
That's okay.
yeah, it's just I'm just so drawn to homeopathy because it's so effective, and it's just so not very well known in Australia,
Mm.
because it's been killed off, to
Mm.
say it bluntly, back in. And the attack on homeopathy was huge in Australia in the 1700s and
Okay.
1800s. So homeopathy was invented in late 1770s. Then in Germany, then the immigrants from Europe that came to Australia and settled in Australia, they brought homeopathy with them. So we had amazing homeopathy practitioners and doctors in Adelaide. I mean, I'm talking Australia-wide, but
Yeah.
also in Adelaide, like, you know, up in the hills. And we had homeopathy dispensaries, homeopathy. You could buy it in what do you call it? In stationery stores. You know that Beehive building in Adelaide,
Mhm.
there was a homeopathy store. You know, you
Oh, well.
could buy your homeopathy stuff there. So we had a lot of dispensaries in Adelaide alone, and the people in the legislation, the politicians were praising homeopathy. Um, we had a flu epidemic in Adelaide in 1852, which was treated with homeopathy, believe it or not. And the people in Parliament, they were just saying how wonderful it is, and the newspaper, local Adelaide newspapers were writing about it, how amazing it was, how efficient it was, how, you know, it's just amazing, amazing, amazing. And it was just so popular, and people were switching to homeopathy. That at the Royal Adelaide, the Children's Hospital was set up by 3 homeopaths back in 1879.
Mhm.
So there were 6 doctors who set it up. 3 of of them were homeopaths, and and they were treating children with a natural way that they, in a conventional way that they had back then, and also the homeopathy way. And it was just so popular, and it was just Australia-wide. So Australia-wide, we had 5 homeopathy hospitals, two in the Tasmania, 1 in Adelaide, in Melbourne and in Sydney. It was just so popular. But then in 1880, the British Medical Association set up in Australia, and they've started to rein homeopathy in. And since then, it's kind of been wiped out, so to speak. So not too many people know about it here now. But it's still, they will still have few practitioners, homeopathy practitioners. But it's just amazing because it's cheap. When you go to see a homeopath, they don't use a lot of drugs, or they don't use a lot of herbs to help assist with your problem. Usually, the true ideology of homeopathy that every person's got their own vital force. So which is the chi. So my vital force vibrates in a different frequency than what yours does, for example. But the role of a homeopath is to match a plant or medicine, because the medicine is from plants, animals, and from minerals, is to match a frequency of whatever your problem, your body's vital force is, to a frequency of a remedy, for example, that they may have. And the ideology is that normally, if there's always one person's got this one particular plant or remedy, and only just application of that one remedy can rectify people's issues, whether they are mental issues or physical issues, or fertility is a little bit more complex than that. But yeah, so homeopathy is just the most gentle and almost like nurturing way of healing people, because it just works on the whole body. So if you go to a homeopath, they don't only just look at, okay, you've got problems with your stomach, let's give you something for your stomach. They'll look at you as a whole. So so the consultation goes from 60 minutes to 90 minutes, the first consultation, and the homeopath will ask you anything about you, not only just the diet, not your exercise, but also everything that's happening to your life, and your major traumas and your major triggers, your parents' life, mom and dad, their traumas, whatever's happened to them, even grandparents if that's available. And then the remedy is designed around what you need. So if you go to a homeopath with a sore stomach, and I go to a homeopath with a sore stomach, we will have 2 different remedies given to us. Yeah. So, and the same with fertility. Fertility, we've got a protocol that is pretty much the same for both the men and the women. Like, I mean, there are different remedies for each gender. But then you still have to do a what do you call it, a consultation, and then work out which is the best remedy for the lady, and for the men as well. And people can get pregnant for various reasons. There could be a trauma that stems back to their grandmother's days. For example, I don't know what would have happened to her that she couldn't get, or she was too scared to get pregnant, whatever it may be. And this is passed into the life force, into the lady who can't get pregnant at the moment. So it's not voodoo, it's not voodoo at all. It's just looking at the whole person, and then you try to decipher what is happening, what is that vital force with that lady out of whack, what can we do to improve or help this vital force to heal it, or heal the body, or just fire back and start working properly. So anyway, I've gone off on a tangent.
That was a great answer. Thank you. Well, so then how like has the demand for fertility homeopathy changed in recent years with the rising infertility rates that have been happening?
Not too many people know about it as yet. I don't believe. I think because homeopathy is still such a relatively unknown modality in
Mhm.
Australia, I think. So and I don't know whether you watch TV, but I live with somebody who watches TV. So at dinner time when I'm in the kitchen cooking, there is the IVF ads come on all the time, and they're just so aggressive, not aggressive, but there's just, in an hour, there could be 3 or 4 of them, so obviously, like
Wow.
what you said, the infertility rates are skyrocketing, which
Mhm.
is also confirmed by the WHO website. 1 in 6 couples are experiencing infertility at the moment.
Mhm.
So yeah, so the clinic that I was going through IVF with, they are advertising so aggressively, they're everywhere at the moment. But with homeopathy, not too many people want to know about homeopathy, and
Mhm.
to homeopathy for fertility, whether it's completely unknown, and yet um, the homeopathy for fertility can be so effective. Like
Mhm.
pre 2020, and we know what happened in 2020. So pre those years, the success rate of full term pregnancies in homeopathy were 80-90%
Wow.
experienced by homeopaths in Australia.
Mhm.
And yet, when I was going through IVF, and even now, because I've go onto the website just to see what they're doing, what they
Mhm.
report, it was only 50% on average,
Wow.
full-term successful pregnancy. So the success rates, are so dropped. There's such a huge difference. Post 2020, something has happened and the fertility rates have dropped, as you said.
Okay.
So even for homeopaths, the rates have dropped to about 60%, 70%. And yet, when you go onto the IVF website, they're not reporting figures since 2021. So they're still reporting the same
Okay.
figures that they had before. So
Mhm.
obviously something has happened to, I don't know, to all of us, and
Yeah.
the rates are dropping. Um, the difference with homeopathy is that it's a very gentle approach. So the protocol is 4 months. So in 4 months, if a couple goes through the protocol and takes the remedies, follows the advice that is given to them, and there are a number of things that they can address, that they do in their daily lives to improve the chances of conceiving.
Mhm.
And that doesn't matter what problems they have, whether they don't have, regular periods, or whether they have endometriosis or slow sperm count or quality. 4 months is usually when people get pregnant.
Okay.
If they and it's so cheap, like it's just a fraction of the cost of what the main conventional
Mm.
treatments for fertility. I know how much it cost me, and
Mhm.
this is going back about 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. But when I went onto the website about a month ago, it's even more. So after
Mm.
you have your insurance rebates and your Medicare rebates, it's about $4,000 per cycle. So,
Yes.
so if your one cycle fails and you go on to the next one, it costing it can cost up, thousands of dollars,
Mm.
depending, where do you stop.
Yeah.
I know, as I said, I know how much it cost me, and mine were unsuccessful. Yeah, and yet, homeopathy is just completely different approach, because with homeopathy you are working with the body, you are enhancing the body, you are correcting the vital force of the body. So the body is so if the ladies periods irregular, we are able to regulate the periods, you regulate the hormones, so the body kicks into what it's meant to do naturally. With homeopathy, with IVF, everything's so regulated. So, for example, they might say, like, when I was going through it, they'll say, okay, so when did let's say you'll be ovulating on a 3rd of December. So they give you drugs that will make you ovulate on that date. So they are manipulating your body to do things against its natural rhythms.
Yeah.
It's very hard emotionally, and the drugs that and some what it's like when we go through our monthly periods and we might have PMS, how we can get angry, we can get sad, we get stuck into chocolate, so just imagine on IVF, what they do to your hormones is far worse than that. Like, it's just terrible. So anyway, so it's completely two different approaches. And of course I am biased because I've been through one and I never got anywhere. And yet I was forever told, your eggs are amazing, like, because they harvest your eggs. And they were saying, oh, your quality of your eggs are amazing, this and the other. They bring your hopes up high, and then nothing happens. And so I've been through this. So I am biased, but with homeopathy, it's just so gentle and so nurturing. And yeah, like I just feel like to me, like homeopathy is less like that, like mother that comes from the earth and just embraces everybody and loves them and does everything in accordance with that frequency of that body. So yeah, so yes, unfortunately homeopathy isn't very well known yet. But yeah, there is a number of us homeopathy people that have specialized in fertility. So we will be doing expos. So there are being expos done already about it in Queensland, because this is where the Homeopathy Academy is that I studied with. So I think, it would take some time for the word to spread around that this option is available to people. And I think a lot more people are experiencing, like the people that I know, can't get pregnant, and they do go the IVF because this is what they see on TV, and this is what they you have to go, you have to go, you have to go. But a lot of the homeopathy patients traditionally have been the ones that done everything, and then they've done the doctors, they've done IVF, and they didn't get pregnant. And then the women, because by then the men give up, because they are it's a difficult journey. The men give up, and the women are still digging, and they find they look for the natural solutions to trying to get a baby.
Yeah. So are there any, it sounds like such a turbulent journey. I've never been on it myself, but just judging by what I've seen on TV shows and also witnessing a couple who I know very dearly going through it, the IVF route seems very sterile, and the way you have described the homeopathic version is, as you said, very nurturing and very caring, and caring about not just the whole person, but the whole couple and what's the word, the atmosphere around them.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So are the, oh, sorry, go on ahead.
And also too, just to give you an example, when I was going through it, and they harvest your eggs and then get the sperm from the partner, and they make a baby in a test tube, and then they insert that embryo into your body. I remember one time that I went to have it inserted. It was at lunchtime, I admit, because I was working. So we went to the clinic at lunchtime, and you have an appointment. Not that you go just unannounced, you have an appointment already
Yeah.
with the person, who's going to do that. It's got all the things prepared. And this particular male doctor, he was on his way to lunch. There was winter time. He was wearing his winter coat to go out to lunch. So basically, you can just imagine somebody comes in, puts the embryo in. So what does it take? 5-10 minutes, but and then he goes off to lunch, and you're left on the bed trying to get dressed and go. No questions, So this is how sterile. This was such a terrible experience. How,
Yeah.
for me, I'm sure that not everybody goes through that, but this is what I found. To me, I was just shocked. And yet, with homeopathy, it's completely different. And if you have a homeopath that is spiritual, because there are homeopaths, or there are doctors that are spiritual and not spiritual. The same with homeopath. But if you're lucky enough to get a homeopath that is so spiritual and high and vibrating on high frequency, that's half of the journey already, because you feel comfortable going in there, and the beautiful energy, the beautiful vibrations of the console, it kind of sets your mindset on a more positive, what's the word, positive road from there
Yes.
on, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just find that too. Like, it also depends on the person that you're saying.
Mm. I've I found that anybody who's been through like medical procedures, I guess, would you call that,
Mm,
or has had chronic illness, has at least one horror story from a doctor where they have made them feel like they're about 1 inch in size. And, with some I'm going off tangent here, but like there are some medical practitioners out there and they forget that they're supposed to be caring for the patients, not just treating them, and like being felt or feeling like you're less important than a bowl of salad is
yes,
is just
correct.
ridiculous. So I love the fact whenever we come to us healers and light workers that we care. We really give a shit about you as a person. We really do. And we want what you want and we want to cheer on what you want cheered on. And we're not
Correct.
just looking at you like another appointment in the day at all.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct. I'm just
we have so much love for you and what you want in life. Yeah.
correct, and I think if you are, like you said, a light worker and highly vibrating person, your main focus isn't the money that you're making, but your
Yeah.
main focus is trying to help that couple, or trying to help that person, or trying to help that animal,
Yeah.
uh, just to get better. So I think, again, I think the intention is so important as well.
Yes. Very
If
much.
your intention is love, and trying to help, that goes a long way, as opposed to my intention is, oh yeah, come to my clinic, I'll charge you. Doesn't matter if you get
Yeah.
pregnant or not, I'll just make
Yes.
money out of you. I think it's just completely different. Like, yourself. I mean, you understand energy, so Um,
Definitely. So,
mm.
in terms of fertility, do you or have you found that there are any particular emotional or mental factors that you see coming up that are impacting that fertility?
A lot of it, yes. So a lot of it is, once people can get pregnant, obviously there's a lot of uh, mental anguish that comes in.
Hmm.
Why me? What have I done wrong? Why I'm not getting pregnant? There is the blame game, blaming myself, and it's quite, and the trauma of, I want a baby, everybody's having a baby and not having a baby. I want one too. So it's very hard on the men are a little bit more withdrawn, but the
Hmm.
women are very, obviously, like, if you want a baby child, you want a child. So yes, it's very, there can be depression, and especially if the late women have been on IVF, that's completely a right mental mess. And I don't mean it with disrespect, but
Yes.
it is the right mental mess because, hormones, they're just so badly manipulated that, the girls, like, I was dropping into tears all the time, when I
Mm.
was going through it, and like for no reason, I would just cry. I'm not the one who's who's violent, luckily enough, but women,
Mm.
even on IVF, they can become very violent because this is how their hormones are put
Mm.
to them. So by the time you have when you're having a fertility, so when a homeopath has a fertility um, couple, of course, they address the man, his issues, but also with the lady, a lot of it is the mental anguish that is being addressed. A lot of the mental anguish could also stem from the mother's side of family or the
Mm.
grandmothers as well. So it's all being cleared. So the layers, so with the homeopathy, we clear the layers away that are blocking the vital force to
Mm-hmm.
firing at its optimum. And the vital force will only, which is your energy, will only not fight or work at its optimum if there are things that have happened. Like if you can imagine if with an aura, if you've got a beautiful aura, everything's nice and good. But if you've got holes in your aura, for example,
Mm-hmm.
things that have happened in the past, traumas, they might put, like patches in your aura. So the same thing with homeopathy. It will address the patches in your vital force or in your and the energy around your body's energy to try to fix whatever it is, mental, physical. Like some girls can't get pregnant because, for example, they might have been abused as girls and although they've gone into their 20s and 30s and I think, yes, I'm fine, I've gone over that, like I've dealt with it, I'm okay. But the trauma on the energetic level is still there. So
Mm.
that needs to be cleared. And once you clear that, the girls are able to get pregnant because there is no more. So we might think, oh yeah, I'm okay. But the back, the trauma is still there. It has to be dealt with. You cannot, as you know yourself, I suppose, when you gone something through in life, unless you face it or you deal with it, it's always there.
Yeah.
Yes. So the same mental issues with fertility.
Mm.
They can stop girls getting pregnant and men as a matter of fact, because the male sperm is obviously vital for pregnancy, but if the sperm is low quality, low motility, it will affect, whether she'd be able to have a child, get somebody pregnant or not. So that also has to be cleared.
Yeah, well, I'm very struck by the work that you do is very similar to the work that I do as a manifestation coach, because obviously these couples are attempting to manifest a beautiful baby and a healthy baby, but their energetic blocks are keeping them from being able to do it. And while you're able to do it through homeopathy and I'm able to do it through energy work and NLP,
Correct.
it's fantastic that we can arrive somewhere together to get harmony for them. So, are there
Absolutely.
any lifestyle or mindset shifts that you encourage your clients to make as well as going through your homeopathic treatments?
Yes, of course. So diet is very important. Sugar and carbohydrates are one of the main things that do impact fertility the most.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar, we know why. Carbohydrates also, they are just as bad as sugar. They never used to be, but obviously the way the carbohydrates have been um, transformed in the last 20, 30 years, when we have bread, for example, I just have a piece of bread, not a big deal. But, if you have this piece of bread every day, that impacts fertility,
Mm.
the quality of sperm, the quality, the lady's cycles can be affected. So that's one of those things. Also, we encourage not to drink alcohol. We encourage not to smoke, not to do drugs, because these are additional layers that have to be peeled off
Yeah.
when we want to, for the vital force, to fire at the optimum. Um, Exercise is really
Yeah.
important. Movement need to clear, need to move the lymphatic system, get the
Yeah.
toxins out of the body. It is really important. Limit their time on the screen time, whether it's phones, iPads, TVs, because the blue light that is emitted from all the screen. This is really bad for fertility. The lights we've got, the LED lights, they
Yeah.
all emit blue light. So blue light is not good for us, but especially people that want to get pregnant. So, I do encourage as much time outside grounding, bare feet on the grass, bare feet on the wet grass, even better,
Mhm.
to have all the positive um EMFs out of our body going to the ground. What else? Sunshine. Spend a lot of time in the sun, not necessarily at midday, but morning sun, afternoon sun. A lot of sun gazing
Mm.
as well. But not obviously not into the sun at midday, but in the mornings or in the evenings when the sun is sunrise, when the sun is not more than 10 degrees above the ground.
Okay.
And this is a good way to sunbathe, so you don't look into the side with your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But once it gets above 10, how do you measure 10 degrees above the ground,
Yeah.
But usually, when the sun first comes up and you've got egg, you can see, then, maybe the first 10 minutes just look into the sun, or afterwards look into the sun with your eyes closed, amazing red lights that are coming in.
Yeah.
Um, what else? Drinking plenty of water, good water, not just, tap water, but good water with Celtic salt or good quality Himalayan salt, because we do know now that Himalayan salt not necessarily is what it is. You have to get the good quality one. So basically change your lifestyle. And the biggest factor impacting fertility is stress.
Mm.
Um, so try to, and it's easy to say to somebody who's got a stressful job like myself, that in my corporate world, how do you stress? How do you reduce your stress? It's because I remember I was being told that, when I was going through IVF, you need to reduce stress. And I was thinking, yeah, right, how do I do that? It's impossible. But, to try to reduce the stress, meditation for both partners, not just the lady, both to meditate. But also spending time together.
Mm.
Not just, okay, I'm ovulating now, let's go upstairs or
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
go is, but as put aside date nights for just spending time, making time for each other, good quality time, and trying not to make the baby making a chore, because
Mm.
then nobody enjoys it, and there are mental, and then stress is kicking about. Oh, I have to, you have to, I'm ovulating. Oh, we have to go now. It shouldn't be like that, So just basically enjoy each other's company.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and manifest, manifestation, such a powerful tool that we all have, but not everybody is aware of that, or understands how manifesting can be such, has such a huge thing as well.
Yeah. You just said something there that really clicked with me. Like whenever people are stressed out and they have this desire, but they have to do certain steps that are becoming a chore, and oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. I found a great trick for me personally is that whenever I get to that point where like, oh, I have to do this, I'm like, no, I choose to do this because I
Right.
want. And it just takes all of the out of it. It really does. It helps to really raise the vibration around what it is you want, because you are reclaiming the fact that you are choosing to do this for a specific result. So just in case anybody is stuck in the haves and the needs, then that's a fantastic little trick.
That's a
So
good point what you just said, because we don't have to do anything. We
yeah,
choose things. That's
yeah.
correct. Correct.
And what advice would you give any couples right now who are feeling discouraged or doubtful on their fertility journey?
Well, but depending where they are in the journey, like, if they are in the like no late 30s,
Hmm.
um, I would really strongly encourage to seek out a homeopath
Hmm.
who specializes in, or who can deal with fertility. Either
Hmm.
specializes, because like myself and there are the others, we have specialized, but any good experienced homeopath should be able to help with that. If they have, if they are in the late 20s or early 30s, I would maybe go on a year's, 1 year of detox. And I don't mean like detox, but yeah, what I said, no sugar, cut out or reduce sugars, cut out, reduce carbs, implant like have more fruit and veg in the diets, good quality water,
Hmm.
uh, exercise, definitely meditation. I mean, these people have time to meditate, because meditation is not something I'll sit down today and I'm good at meditating. It takes practice.
Yeah.
So if they have time and they don't want a baby just now, yeah,
Mm.
they can implement all those things. They cannot change. They can amend the lifestyle to give them what they want at the end. So and yeah, just spend time with each other. Don't make it a chore. Make it a
Yeah.
pleasure to be with each other. Date night, dinner night. Uh, on a shitty, raining, cold day, stay in bed all day. Like, just, whatever makes them gel more. Because
Yeah.
it's all energy, it's all energy as well, and the baby, it's a lot better if the baby is conceived out of love than, oh yeah, we had to, because she was ovulating, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Mm.
sure that makes a big difference.
Mm.
So, from your perspective as a homeopath, how can tools like visualization and intention setting around the conceiving or even other manifestation techniques, how can they support the work you do in fertility?
I think it's a huge thing,
Hmm.
because even the intention of, for example, if the man's got poor quality sperm, which is quite a lot, men are
Okay.
suffering from that, carrying their mobile phones in the pockets,
Yeah.
I mean, we know what happens there, right? So this is another thing that I advise my clients: don't carry the mobile phone on your body all the time. But even if he goes to bed and he sets intention, my sperm is good quality, healthy sperm, able to conceive a healthy, beautiful baby to full term. If
Hmm.
he says that every night, so if he manifests, or the intention is there, it really helps the journey, because as yourself, know doing one thing is one thing, but the manifestation is another thing, the power
Mm.
of it. And I will give you an example. When I was studying the energy healing for animals,
Hmm.
there was a lady. So the vet is an Australian vet who was doing the course with. He was a mainstream vet, that he's discovered energy healing with pets, and this is why he's gone down that way. There was a lady who had a cat who had a
Mm.
tumor, and he was healing the tumor. And the cat the next day was, and this is before he was fully on board with energy healing.
Okay.
So the next day, the cat was going in for operation to have the tumor removed. So they go in, they, whatever they had to do, the test, whatever, and the tumor was gone. And the guy said, "What happened? What have you done? The tumor's gone. I can't explain it. What's happened?" And the lady said all night she was sitting there and she was throwing golden arrows of love into the tumor, and the tumor has disappeared. So so I think the intention, and it goes such a long way with anything, with healing, with fertility, with anything, like, you know. So I think it's very important, and I think it's not something that we have been taught from when we grow up, you know. The intention is just taken out of anywhere. No, parents don't tell us about it because they don't know. Schools don't teach us about it. Intention is so powerful, you know,
Yeah.
or being grateful, gratitude. You know, like if a man goes to bed and says, "Oh, thank you, universe, or God, or whatever it is for that person. Thank you for a good quality sperm that can produce a healthy baby." Guess what's going to happen? Not maybe not straight away, but if you do this, you know, and you're thanking it for that, for already having that sperm, not saying, "Oh, please help me have a good sperm." No. You just do thank you already. You've already achieved that, and you're just grateful for that.
Yeah, that's manifestation in a nutshell. Whoops.
Right.
I'm sorry. So for those who are wanting to continue on their fertility journey, and they want to stay hopeful and positive about it and not get depressed and not have the hormones all over the place, are there any specific practices apart from the clean eating and the exercise? Any specific like affirmations or specific types of meditations that you could recommend?
No, I haven't given any specific meditations to do, but I suppose, yes, there could be. I may even look into that. Like, you know, specific meditations, or even maybe listening to the specific music at specific frequencies, you know,
Yeah.
for true hertz. No, I've always said to my clients, you know, do meditation and, you know, and manifestation, but even visualizing them holding a beautiful baby. I've never thought of, well, no, I didn't think of saying that to them, but yes, absolutely. You know, absolutely, just visualize a beautiful baby at home. Visualize a crying baby at home, their baby at home. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yeah, so basically a very, very, yeah, not mental work, but the intention and the love that
Yeah.
goes to that. Absolutely. And loving the bodies for how they are. You know, don't say, "Oh, I'm broken because I can get pregnant," you know. Don't say that. Love your body, you know. Yes, thank you, you know, grateful. Thank you for the body that I had, you know, and send love towards the area that, you know, your hormones, your anything, your womb, you know, just thank it that can produce. Thank you, be grateful that you've got it, you know, and yes, so basically all the love messages towards your body.
Yeah.
You know what's really also very good to do. And I've been practicing this for about 2 months, and somebody else I know, she does it too. When she has a shower in the morning and the mirror is fogged up, she like we put "I love you" on there, like, you know, just, and you know, it changes the energy of the house. Like, and I find that since I've been doing this "I love you," and this is obviously directed to me, so I'm saying "I love you" to myself. It really changes the energy of the house. It's so beautiful, you know.
Yeah.
So it's good for the couples to do that as well. Like, you
I
know,
have
and
a little record card, you know, just like one of those
yes,
size cards that says "I love you" in big red letters, and it's blue tack to the bathroom mirror. So I do
beautiful.
too.
You see, I might have to do that now in the summertime because the mirrors don't forget as
Yeah,
much, you know.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Well,
absolutely.
thank you so much for joining me, Renata, and for sharing your insights for the amazing work that you do to help couples build families through
Mm,
natural and very caring holistic
yes,
practices.
yes,
And your
absolutely.
expertise truly adds to the possibilities for anybody facing fertility challenges at the minute. So, wow, thank you very much. It was
Mhm.
lovely to have you.
And also, if we've got time, just would like to say, if there is anybody listening out there that has been trying to have a baby for 12 months and haven't gone the fertility way yet,
Mhm.
I am happy see 5 couples free of charge,
Wow.
just to help them along. But they have to be 12 months into their trying.
Okay.
I don't want to see anybody that's the beginning because they may not have issues. I just want to help out people that, 12 months and nothing's happening for them. So
Okay.
I'm
Great.
more than
Well,
happy to, see them free of charge. And I do online consultations as well. So like fertility doesn't need to be, like
yeah.
hands-on, can be online. So
And do you have a calendar link where people can book in for free? Because we can add that to the description of the podcast as well.
no, this is something I still need to work out.
Well,
But I can.
how do you get people to get in touch with you to book these?
So people can, on my business card, I've got my email address, like I've got my phone number, but also email address. So
Okay.
people can email me, and then
Okay.
I can get back to them and then work out the time that suits them and myself.
No problem. Well, I'll add those to the description so people can get in touch with you. All
Beautiful.
right. Well, thank you very much.
Well,
Bye bye.
thank you for having me.
No
Bye.
problem. I am so excited to have Renata Garula with us today. Renata is a certified homeopath with qualifications from the prestigious RDMY Collective in Queensland, Australia. She specializes in using homeopathy to assist couples facing increasing infertility rates, offering natural, tailored support to help them move closer to their dreams of starting or growing a family. And we will explore Renata's expertise, how her unique approach can support fertility, and where that intersects with the power of your mindset and manifestation. And for those of you ready to go deeper into manifesting your dreams, whether it is creating the life you've wanted through your career, through starting a family, just overcoming emotional blocks that are keeping you feeling stuck, I invite you to connect with me. I'm Claire Donovan, your high-end manifestation coach, here to support you on your journey to clarity, confidence, and abundance. You can book a call with me or send me a DM to start your transformation today, and all links will be included in the description. Thanks. I hope today's conversation has given you a fresh perspective on some valuable tools for approaching your goals, whether they relate to family, health, or manifestation. And if you are ready to transform your own life, to break through emotional or mental barriers, and to really start creating the future you've always dreamed of, please reach out to me. I am looking forward to talking to you. You can book a call or simply send me a DM to discover how manifestation coaching can align your energy with your deepest desires. Until next time, please keep believing in the power of yourself to create and attract everything you desire. Thank you for tuning in.